Hello and hi again. Hi, I'm Dan John from danjohnuniversity.com. We're doing the 10,000 swing challenge as usual. Today is holy cow, is that right? Day 13. So we're starting to wind down. All that noise is my dog. He's obviously feeling better. I'm feeling miles better too. I think the COVID, whatever I had, Omicron or whatever, really beat me up last week. I still did the swings every day. I would swing and then I would turn all the cameras off. I would drink some coffee. I would take care of him, and then I would sit right there, and then kind of my head would tilt that way. And I slept one day 3 hours after I did this. Yesterday was just an hour, so obviously I'm trending better. I use a 20K bell because I'm 65. Men should use the 24. Ladies, the 16 or the 12. Whatever bell you want. It doesn't matter. I do the 10,000 swing challenge in the up to method. I go up to 500 every day. And I do that because I'm just doing this to support some of my online friends who are doing the swing challenge at the same time. I'm not a martyr. I'm not at all. I get great benefits out of it every year. The number one benefit I get from the 10,000 swing challenge is the momentum for the rest of the year. I start off with a 10,000 swing challenge and a fat loss boost from Rusty Moore. It's very hard. It's a hard way to start January's. But by the time I get done with January, I have momentum for the rest of the year. Last year, I started the year at 251 pounds. I got down to 218. The most progress I made was on Easy Strength for Fat Loss. It's a program that's on the site for free if you're a member. I don't tend to lose very much on the 10,000 swing challenge with the fat loss boost, but it sets the system up for a great year. Of course, you throw in COVID and things change. And of course, we've been throwing in COVID for a couple of years. But hey, things are good. I'll answer the questions we have on our friends over here on Instagram, and that'll keep things moving. Let's get kicking off here. Here we go. Oh boy. Somebody asked about warm-up yesterday, and that is my warm-up right there. My opening sets are my warm-ups. My last sets are my cool-downs. So somebody said that swings and goblet squats, Indian Ronin swings and goblet squats were really helpful for their overall body stuff and mobility, which I find very true. Good morning. Yeah, I'm feeling better, yes. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Like many times when you get sick. Hi, buddy. Like many times when you get sick, sometimes when you're finally getting through it is when you kind of feel the worst. You feel better, but you sound worse. I'm in that kind of phase right there. And I have a dog who has just tons of concerns about me. Hopefully he'll stay there while I swing. As I say almost every day, 6 bedrooms, 3 bath, massive house, massive backyard, massive front yard. And he has to be right there, you know. Wow, that's clearly feel better. Holy cow. That's a good first 2 sets. Good morning. Working on a new book, and it's been fun because I have so much. Yeah, as I move ahead in things, I seem to get smarter about some things, but I always feel like it just keeps coming back to the basics and the fundamentals. Yeah, I'm working on this every day, and it's like when I answer questions, people still just don't understand the basics. You know, it goes right down to, you know, Jurassic Park, should we and could we? I mean, it's like these questions I get, it's like, you know, what do you think about this exercise? I mean, frankly, who gives a shit about what I think about an exercise? I mean, who cares what I think? If it's making your athletes or you progress and you're getting your dreams, why does my opinion here in my lowest level of my home on a Saturday morning drinking a cup of coffee, why does it matter? I mean, if you're making great progress, you're making great progress. What generally happens, though, is that people don't make progress. And then they ask me for my advice, and then I give them very basic, simple things to do. They do them, they make progress, and then they start questioning why we're not doing what those guys are doing. Tell you, this industry is that whole, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. We are a bunch of cows sometimes, just trying to get our face on the other side of, you know, the chain link fence to eat the delicious grass that's over there. If you're making progress, doing something, by God, do it. You know, if you have the body of your dreams and all you do is garbage mileage, you know, you get up every day and you run 3 crappy miles on asphalt and terrible shoes, and but when you get back and you swallow down a carton of vanilla ice cream and you look good, you feel good, you move good, and your blood profiles are amazing, you know, don't ask me what I think. Now, if you're falling apart and you ask me, then, you know, maybe listen to me or not. Sorry about that. All that head shaking. Hi, buddy. Again, Instagrammers, if you have questions, it's helpful. It keeps things flowing a little bit. Actually, have come up with a good way to kind of explain things in the next book. Alex from Norway reports he had a nice, what we call swoosh or whoosh moment. It's where the weight suddenly you lose. Did you lose 3 pounds or 3 kilos? Yeah, 3 pounds overnight. It just suddenly drops off. Yeah, that's it's interesting. If you're on a fat loss program, I know that there's that one diet called the engineer's diet where you try to stay on a linear path all the way down. And I see the value to that, except most people kind of lose weight in a bit of a roller coaster with things trending down. But what's fun is on the roller coaster is those weird days where you lose all that weight on the scale and you even sit back and go, wait a sec. Let's see, I went out and had sushi. I had, 2 bottles of sake. I lumped around all day and I lost all this weight. Well, it's the combination of all the things happening before, I guess. Heck, I don't understand it. Okay, so somebody asked if I'm doing the 10,000 swing challenge. So, okay, yes. Yeah, get Kevin. I do the audio on all my books. It's a really hard process. And if you read the actual outtakes, basically I swear the entire time. I drop the F bomb every other word. I had a speech impediment as a kid, and I still struggle from you can hear it all the time. And see, when you talk about it, you have to master it again. Uh, so when I read my own work, I get very frustrated, very angry, and it takes a lot of time for me to get through it. Though this last book, Attempts, I got to tell you, my audio for Attempts felt very smooth. I really felt like it just flowed. It was really unusual. Before I came on this morning, I was looking over the chapters on level changes and groundwork, and it was just kind of okay. Find a space that's safe. Good boy. Good, thank you. I cut back a little bit on that one. My grip was starting to bounce. Oh, you bet. Thank you. This person said that my book Attempts was amazing. Yeah, it's hard though. It's hard to do it. And this time will be even harder. Well, I don't remember if COVID was around during Attempts. Was it? I don't know when I did the audio. It must have been. It wasn't that long ago. But this time, you need to set things up. You need to be in a quiet place, and you need a lot of time, and it's very frustrating. But yeah, I'll do the audio. So far, the book is, I think I'm sneaking up on 200 pages. But so many of the things I do, it'll be weird, but it's part of life, I guess. I always tell people the reason kids who are here in the United States, who are high school seniors, in America, very often it's the first time they've ever been given one choice. And the choice is, for your entire life, every August, September, you marched away and you went to school where you were told to go, or because of the district you were in or the school your folks put you in. And then every June, you stopped and you never once thought about it. Well, when you graduate from high school in America, you have a number of choices. You can go to school, a university, or you can go work, or obviously join the military, or do nothing like many students do. But when you pick a university, there's a smorgasbord. I don't know how many American universities are, but I wouldn't be surprised if it snuck up. Certainly the tens of thousands. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the hundreds of thousands. Well, for the first time in a teenager's life, you have to choose. It's fascinating to watch 17, 8-year-olds go through that discernment process, because some kids are lucky. They're going to go to this place their whole life, the University of Utah, Stanford, whatever. That was what mom and dad said, and that's what's going to happen. But other kids have to make these options. And I see the same issue when it comes to training, is that when people choose to do a certain kind of program or training system. So I'm going to do Wendler's 5-3-1. And then the second I start doing 5-3-1, someone says, well, are you going to do Olympic lifting? Oh, yeah, I should do Olympic lifting. What about kettlebells? Oh, I can do kettlebells here. What about tumbling? And then you end up doing all kinds of stuff, but you end up doing nothing. You must decide which is to cut. And so one of the problems I have when I write my books is much of the feedback is, I thought you were a kettlebell guy and you're talking about barbells. Yeah, well, this is a chapter on barbells. But you're a barbell guy. Why are you talking about this? I guess that was strange for this morning. But again, if I don't get questions, then I have to. Okay, let's get over into the low 200s on this set. Okay. We'll get over halfway on the next set. I'll be right back. Like I said earlier, this is the best I felt in days, maybe weeks, because of the Omicron. But still, those residuals, if you have any congestion in your head and you start swinging, it starts moving. Oh, yeah. people ask me, like, can you do the 10,000 swing challenge in easy strength? I'd be like, no. But then they want to, and it's like, well, then do it. Then the 10,000 swing challenge, to me, is about a 20-day or maybe even a month challenge that you do. I guess there is value in doing this. I mean, my grip strength clearly gets stronger every year when I do it. I like what it does for my butt and my hamstrings, and I like how it reminds my ab wall to tighten up to make the butt tighten up. I like that, and I like finishing it. To be honest with you, I like that a lot. That's what my best part. That's what I like about challenges. I like finishing it. Easy strength. The idea on easy strength is to get it in a 2-month period, get as strong as you possibly can without burning any candles at all. I mean, coming out of the other end of the 2 months, clearly stronger in certain movements, but without a high, with not high price on things like injuries and whatever you want to call nervous energy. I know what I mean by it. It's that you get before you make a big lift. When I do big lifts on easy strength, it's like this. I mean, there's no mental. There's just it's just work. It's just because. I mean, I don't when I'm working on my business over here. I don't take shots of energy supplements and start screaming on the phone. I work. It's my job. Easy strength is like strength is not your job, man. Yeah, your job. Okay, let's. We'll get for sure halfway. Maybe a few more. Let's just get over halfway on this round. We'll go from there. Good. Now, in the next round, we'll be within shooting distance of 300. Interesting. Our listener pointed out that the 10,000 swing challenge helped them with their hill runs. Yeah, it would make sense. I mean, the kettlebell swing is a magnificent glute exercise, and it is high rep, and you are at some level getting stronger. The forces, I think it's Newton's second law. The kettlebell swing is more of Newton's second law than the third law, if I remember Newton as well as I should. It's funny, my master's students often don't understand Newton's laws. They still believe something they read. I mean, here they are. They got all these machines. They got all this information. All these professors. All these lectures, and they will still go on a site on the internet and find somebody with a nice body, and the person with a good body says, "This is what's happening during this exercise," and they'll believe that versus the science. It's like Dan Cleather, my boss at St. Mary's. He has this really interesting point about how people train this position here, this position here in the Olympic lifts. Well, it's an effect. It's you get in this position because of everything that's happened. Yeah, I mean, you'll see. I mean, obviously, when I was a good Olympic lifter, my traps were off the charts because you do that. But it isn't. There is no position where you go like this, because what's happening here, you're not pulling the weight higher, you are whipping yourself under the bar. And I used to say pulling yourself under the bar, but it really isn't a pull, it's a whip. It's a whack, I'm not going to do it right now. I could. Okay, so we're over halfway. Very exciting. Oh my gosh, how exciting is this? Over halfway. We'll be over 300 in just a moment. If you've been following since the beginning, you will notice that I don't rush this at all. I don't do this for any other reason except to support some of my online friends who are doing it. But you also notice I tend to go a little faster every time. Even with Omicron, I was going pretty quick-ish. Okay. If you're a Pat Flinner, you're done for the day. Okay. I'll be right back. I know I'm getting better, but I still feel like I blow my nose a lot training for morning workouts. Again, feel free to ask questions if you'd like. And good morning. It's been interesting. The schools in Utah, a lot of them have to close again. At least they're trying. I mean, I feel for the teachers and the educators and the principals and the administrators. Here's the thing. If you don't do anything and a child dies, that's on you the rest of your life. But here's the thing. If you do stuff to prevent that child, everybody argues with you. If you've ever been a leader, and I can usually tell by people's comments whether they've been in a leadership position or not. If you've ever been a leader, you have to take these tough stances sometimes that are just ridiculous, just so that you don't have regrets 10 years later. I've buried a lot of my students. Suicides, car accidents, cancers, childhood incidents that came back later. Buried a lot of, and you always end up drug overdoses. Geez, you always end up wishing you'd have done more. So anytime you rip on anybody who's in charge, remember, I mean, it's up to you, man. I mean, I'd rather go to somebody's funeral that I did my best to help versus doing that whole woulda, shoulda, coulda stuff after. You can disagree with me, and that's fine. Do no harm, yeah. Are there courses and articles that you can read to get more knowledge? Well, sure. And just go to danjohn.net first. It's all free there. Go through that. Read my books. I have one on discus throwing that you should read. One on lifting you should read. They're all free on the site. Uh, when Salt Lake hosted the 2002 Olympics, I was an administrator, and of course 9/11 had just happened. Man, and so we were having all these meetings, and we had federal at these meetings. We had federal agents there telling us about, you know, what there was like a series of colors, you know, that we were discussing, and every day the first thing they did was give us a color code. You know, it was never good. It was never a good color. It was, and it was. I don't. I think it wasn't DEFCON. There wasn't the 5 levels of DEFCON. It was, but there was alerts, and we did all these things, all kinds of things, over the top stuff. We had. I remember during the Olympics, I had this horrifically bright yellow jacket with all these, you know, all this information on the back, so that I could go around the one where I worked, you know, freely without having to worry about all the other stuff. And then of course we had to add everything had to be punch coded and everything, you know, to go into the buildings and stuff. And guess what? Absolutely nothing happened. Nothing. But if something would have happened, at least we could have all said, "Hey, you know," and maybe nothing happened because we did all that stuff. You can never do that. So yeah, so it's been an interesting couple of weeks. Sorry, I'm boring today. Let's get back. Okay, let's try to get within shooting range of finishing this. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Oh, 1 or 2 sets to 400, and then we'll be done with another 100. Larry Boyle. Let's see. Tomorrow. Ah, that's Macbeth, isn't it? Tomorrow. Yeah, about a week ago, I got a nice little newsletter, and they had a nice quote in there, and they attributed the quote to Shakespeare, but it wasn't. It was from The Little Prince. I can't remember how to say the guy's name. Antoine. If you know the book, he was a reconnaissance fighter pilot in World War II, and they never. He died in the Mediterranean, though there's no knowledge. You know, Antoine, whatever. And it was just funny because it was like the second I read it, I knew that's not. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Ardosh. Antoine Saint Exbury. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Um, oh, people, yeah, that's it. Yeah, he. I think it was something to do with his a goal versus a wish, and I think it's in. I'm pretty sure it's in the Little Prince. It was like one of those things you read it. I mean, I think I read the Little Prince in 1970, 71, and it was like one of those lines that kind of jumped off the page. Then, yeah, I'm convinced, as a scripture scholar, I used to be anyway, and it's funny. I'm a big fan of Shakespeare. The Bible and Shakespeare often get quoted, but that the quotes don't actually exist, uh, or someone has taken a little piece out of a quote, you know, and it's not always easy doing my multiple careers. Okay, so let's sneak up on 400 on this rep. Okay. Well, we'll get to 400. 400 for sure next round. Oh, so for those of you on YouTube, today's my Saturday, and I feel miles better than I did last week. Jonathan, Jonathan says he's going to read the Bible. I would do this, Jonathan. Don't read it from. No, no, don't do it. Don't do it that way. I always tell people to start with the Gospel of Mark. It's short. Uh, be sure to underline any mention of clothes, and I'd use a different marker for any mention of place, because you'll find some interesting things happening with clothes and locations in Mark. Uh, from there, I like to tell people to read 1 Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians is probably the most quoted part of the New Testament. Okay, after that, I would slide back and I would just read Genesis chapter 4. That's the Cain and Abel story. And then I would jump ahead. The book, the story of Jonah is only 4 chapters, and it's a fun read, and it's worth your time. If you have certain tradition, the book of Tobit. What's great about the book of Tobit, you meet the Archangel Raphael. Raphael has a dog, and everything in the end, everything turns out great in the end. You meet Asmodeus, you meet Sarah, uh, birds poop in people's eyes. There's blindness, there's vision, there's. By the way, you get in trouble for doing the right thing in Tobit, which is interesting. There's 2 mysteries I think are fun to read, Daniel 13 and Daniel 14. the story of Susanna and Belle and the Dragon. Now, after you've read those, so you've got a letter, 1 Corinthians, you've got a gospel, you've got Cain and Abel, which I think is a foundational story you must read. You've got a couple murder mysteries. You've got a happy story. You've got an interesting story in Jonah. By the way, to defend Jonah, God is sending Jonah to his arch enemies and saying, go save your enemies. It's a great story. And then after that, we can talk from there, okay? Hope that helped. That's off the top of my head. In the middle of 10,000 swing challenge, yeah. How many other strength coaches in the world can give sacred scripture advice, quality sacred scripture advice, discuss Harry Potter, talk about training dogs, raising grandchildren, all with recovering from COVID? Well, I tell you, probably a lot of us. Ah, good. Thank you, my friend. All right, let's pick back up. We're going to be done quickly here today. Hey, we got somebody from County Mayo. I got in my weight room, I got a County Mayo Gaelic football jersey, or kit as you guys call it. Big fan of Mayo. There's that, I don't know if it's actually in Mayo or Galway, but there's that little all-Irish town, you know, the Irish-speaking town. I can never remember its name, but that's always a fun place to stop. And then, of course, Adrian Craddock, his wedding was on the far, 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 far west. I'm pretty sure it was still it's like the farthest city on the west of Mayo, on the ocean. The joke is I could see the Empire State Building from there, Statue of Liberty. Yeah, big fan of Mayo. County Mayo, Sligo too, there's a kind of Irish that live there. It's kind of interesting. Dark, 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 dark hair, dark, dark, dark eyes, and it's kind of funny. When you go there, all of a sudden you'll start seeing real dark-haired people, and I think there's some truth to what I'm about to say, but you know, when the remnants of the Spanish Armada washed up on the west coast of Ireland, it seemed that some of the survivors, they survived and thrived. We'll just say that. Move on. Good stuff. Good stuff. I hope you're hearing me clearly today. I've been getting. It's always hard for me to deal with complaints about the audio and the video of these, because to do this, I have to do it in my basement because of just the outright cold. And now, of course, with Leo, I mean, I don't want to be making all this noise in the morning, you know, and waking him up. Especially, you know, he's doing fine, but he's had a rough first year for baby. So, you know, so I ragtag all my stuff together here, and you know, I mean, this is. And the second I finish, I put all this stuff back, and it becomes a family room again. But I hope you're listening and getting something out of this. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing my best. Yeah. Okay. So, gentle listeners, we are. I put myself in a good position to finish this in 1 or 2 sets, maybe 3 if I'm lazy, which can happen. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, how much do I get for this? How much am I paid for this? And what do I get for this? The love and support of the people who asked me to do it. And in a couple cases, they've already quit. So that was nice. Asked me to do something, I'll do it with you, and then they quit. You know, I was going to quit this time. I got that bad hip. Little joke. Oh, any questions? Let me know. Yeah, dealing with the Omicron. Oh, how many balls in the air can I have, huh? Um, yeah, when you put the 10,000 swing challenge on top of Omicron, on top of fasting, had the fat loss boost on top of training for Olympic lifting meet. Yeah, that's a lot of balls in the air. But like I always, this is a fundamental part of my whole the way I do everything. It's like, you know, if not now, when? You know, I had some friends in high school who, getting back, they I remember this one guy just clear as can be. Yeah, he's going to take a year off and get strong. You know, join a gym and get big and play college football. Well, you know, our 40-year reunion was still living in his mom's basement. You know, he's just, if not now, what I've discovered, most people, if not now, it's never. That's why I try to be so good about, you know, if someone emails me, I answer it. If you text me, I answer it. Because if not now, when? And things just start to pile up. In fact, the other day I missed an email, and it really bugged me because that's just not the way. Because I mean, my concern is you miss one email, and then pretty soon you miss a lot. I was at a Perform Better one time, and one of the speakers gets up there and goes, "I've got 18,000 unread emails in my inbox," and I thought, "You're not better than us. You're just an asshole. You know, if you're not going to answer emails, get rid of the account. You know, put it on. You know, just shut it down. Don't give out your email address. You know, either answer emails or don't answer them. If you have a business and you're not answering emails and phone calls, you're too stupid to listen to." Yeah, the hubris of this person. So listen, I've got I got one more set. So Instagram people, if you have a question, ask. Otherwise, we'll be calling this a day here in just a few minutes. It was just an absolute delight as always. Oh, we have a question. Uh, Deanno Shea, chasing numbers on the compound squat bench. What rep range would you recommend? Well, I mean, there's better people than me. I mean, I would certainly. You have to make a choice. You either do it Marty Gallagher's way, or you do it West Side, you know, the conjugate method. Basically, I think you need to do the lifts at least one day a week. I think accessories are great. If you're on the site, if you're on danjohnuniversity.com, just go to the thing from Marty Gallagher on the 5-phase mastery, it's a PDF that has Marty's best material. I would just look at that. Okay, or oh, it must be in the other one, but get purposeful primitive. But I actually think that what we have in the five phase mastery is actually better. Yeah. So I mean, I still think you can get freakishly strong doing easy strength, but you know, Stephen Court, who's one of our people on the site, he came up with the 3x3 program for powerlifting, where you just, God, it's a fascinating program. So you start off 3 days a week, bench, squat, deadlift for 3 sets of 3. And then you just keep adding more workouts. But everything is the 3 lifts, 3 sets of 3. And you just keep adding more and more and more volume. I mean, it's very easy strength this with the percents. I don't like percents, but it would make sense for this. But, if you're doing, I don't know, 20 rounds of 3 sets of, 20 workouts of 3 sets of 3 at 70% in a lift in a week, that'd be a hell of a lot. If you're doing 10, I mean, that's 30 sets. That's a lot of work. Let me get this done. And another 500. Good. All right. That brings us to 6,250. Boy, he's just not going as fast as I hope. I'll have to make up that 250 soon. Well, there you go. Thanks for being by again, gentle listener. I know I rambled a lot today. But remember, for the discount, New Year, one word, New Year, danjohnuniversity.com. It's 3 months for $29, and then you can get the goal setting course for $15, which is well worth it. We have other courses. I think the Easy Strength and Advanced Easy Strength are really good programs. Goal setting programming, they're all solid, game changers. And if you have questions, remember, podcast at danjohnuniversity.com. Hey, and so until next time, let's all just keep on lifting and learning, okay? Thank you, and we'll talk soon.